Hey guys, Charles Barber here, and today I would like to shoot a quick little video about the equinox that's coming up in March. Just a little information about the equinox, what it means to people in general. Everyone has an opinion on what it means spiritually, but just really go into the history. Also explain some of the health benefits. Also, we're going to be releasing a bundle that's going to be on sale that you're definitely going to want to grab because it's going to actually accentuate the equinox and what's happening. So as we all know, we're all connected to the earth. We're all, here in this journey together. So the equinox does have a lot of significance to us. And when we look in history, we see that every religion had actually marked this on a calendar as a specific date. When you go to the Aztecs, you look at Chichen Itza, which is a pyramid that they built, and during the equinox, it creates a shadow from one of the serpents that's going down the pyramid to represent this time of the year. In Stonehenge, the way that the stones were set up, the sun will actually align perfectly in one of the stones during this equinox. And it's obviously was very important to them. So it should be important to us. I feel like in society nowadays, we kind of are so busy with our lives that we're not able to actually stop and think about these things and think about the importance they can have on our lives. So one thing that we really want to understand is like what's happening astrologically, astronomy, what's going on during the equinox. Well, we're coming out of winter, and so what's happening is the sun is basically lining up and becoming more prevalent, and so we're gonna have longer days. But up until then, it hasn't been that way, and so we're starting to reach that equilibrium or balance on the actual day of the equinox. And this is super interesting because this is that time of the year where everything's in complete harmonious balance, if you will, from light and dark, from day into night, from female to male energy. So that's another little drop on you guys, but that's the significance of this because we're all interconnected, and this is one way that allows us to be able to actually understand how to use these times to go within ourselves and reflect on certain things. Because the idea here is that this is a time of the year that's in perfect balance. So we're all male, we're all male. We all have male and female energy within inside of us. And the importance of that is that when we're hitting this equinox, hitting this equilibrium, if you will, this balance, we actually want to harness those energies within inside of us. So if we've been a little, intense on some of our people in our relationships, or we've been a little benign and been a little resistant in certain relationships, this is the time for us to be able to recline that and reflect on these things so we can bring these things back in balance. It's something that's very powerful for us to do in our self-development in our life. Because what we're noticing is that we're coming out and we're springing into the new year. We're seeing lots of life happen. We're seeing the weather change. We're seeing we're getting out, we're moving more, and we're doing more activities. But at the same time, we've been stuck inside. And when we're stuck inside during winter, our body is holding on to more fat, holding on to more toxins. And so naturally, when we enter this spring equinox, we hear a lot of these things known as like spring cleaning. And spring cleaning is something that the ancients did. They would clean the temples in preparation for the spring. So this is an ancient knowledge that's been used for a long time, and we kind of coined it with this modern term, spring cleaning. But that's kind of like the idea too, is that we're leaving the darkness, entering the light, and we want to reflect, we want to clean, purge out some of the negative things that have been holding us back, especially if we've been experiencing frustrations, especially if we've been experiencing anything but balance. And today I just had to do it, had to wear my balance shirt today because it just was so appropriate to do that. So I wanted to show you guys that because we're actually be giving some of these shirts away as well. But back to the equinox. So one thing that, I've kind of covered, what's going on with the planets and kind of the symbolism for our own lives and things that we maybe can do to help benefit our lives to keep it into balance emotionally and spiritually. By, again, looking at those energies, our masculine and feminine energies, and learning that on that day, on the equinox, those energies are in perfect balance. So it's a perfect time for us to transcend some of these negative energies that maybe we've been holding on to. But one thing is when we look at nutrition is we also see a very powerful aspect happening. You know, I'm big on Weston A. Price and the raw food diet and plants and veganism and vegetarian. I love it all. But one thing that Weston A. Price talked about in spring was that when the spring came, and as you guys can see all around you when you drive around, especially if you're out here in the country, you start to see the grass is really bright green. And Weston A. Price talked about this, and he talked about how the earth had been frozen and is unthawed, and the grass would become greener because it had more nutrition inside of it. And it turns out that that's true. Like if you're someone who consumes grass-fed butter, spring is the time to consume it and collect it. And we actually even buy it and freeze it in bulk at this time because it's gonna have more nutrients inside of it than say later part of the year, like in June and July. And the main thing that we're seeing that's so prevalent in the butter, or which is actually really in the grasses, because the grasses are what's making the butter so rich, is certain fat-soluble nutrients like vitamin A and vitamin K. And there's another nutrient known as the X factor that Weston A. Price talked a lot about. And this is something that he said was revered as being at this time of the year, that butter was revered to being like a holy medicine at this time of the year, and they would only give it to children and the elderly and pregnant women because it was so nutritionally dense in spring. So on that note, just so you guys know, maybe this is a time that you want to start to look at things like this, but also when we look out in nature, we see things that happening, like the flowers are blossoming, the pine cones are dropping their pollen on everything. I talk a lot about this when I talk about pine pollen. And we're seeing that new life is happening, new growth is happening. So naturally we're going to want to get outside, we're going to want to sweat, we're going to want to move. And some of the nutritional things that we see is happening prior is that we've been holding on to toxins. So that's why in our bundle, we wanted to offer a few products that I'm going to go over right quick so that you guys can understand why they're in the bundle and how they can benefit you from this time. So one of the first things we wanted to put in is MSM. And MSM is a sulfur compound, and it's a methylator. So it really kind of helps our body digest food better, gets our digestion on point. Obviously, if we've been eating more rich foods from the winter, now we're going to be eating light foods. We want to do the spring cleaning, right? This is a perfect tool to bring into our lives to help us clean our liver, clean our gallbladder, clean our blood, and just clean our body overall. Also, it helps us give us energy, makes us feel good. Doesn't taste the best ever, but man, is it powerful. And one of the beautiful things about it not tasting that good, because it is a beautiful thing, is that it's going to help create a more balanced palate. So now we're going to actually not crave as many sweets by adding MSM into our diet. We don't need to have willpower. We don't need to sit there and sing mantras about, I'm not going to eat sugar, I'm not going to eat sweets. We can just bring this food into our diet, and it will naturally change over our bacteria matrix, which changes the flavors that we crave. So it's amazing. You don't have to have willpower to do it. Another product that we're putting in the bundle is the Rejuvenate. And this is a Schisandra berry. And some of you know, some of you don't. But Schisandra berry is a phenomenal herb to help cleanse the liver and the gallbladder. So naturally, this is our filter in our body, our liver. So this is a great time to cleanse it. And this is something that we here at Crucial 4 really focus on, along with the MSM, to help bring into our body, to help cleanse the liver, get that oil filter cleaned out, because it's like a filter for our body. I said oil filter, so it relates to the car. But clean that filter out in our body, get it ready. And along with the MSM, we're able to double up on that. Another product that we wanted to put in was the spirulina. And one thing that's important about spirulina, with all its B vitamins and how it can actually help target the liver and gallbladder, is also the fact that spirulina has chlorophyll in it. And chlorophyll is a detoxifier and a cleanser. And it also helps our body be able to bring in the sunlight and the vitamin D and actually absorb that precursor hormone, that vitamineral, if you will, that's out there in the sun. And naturally, we're not going to be getting that in the winter, and we're going to be getting more of it in the spring. So by bringing spirulina in our diet, we're able to actually help detox for the chlorophyll, but then at the same time, the chlorophyll helps us uptake the light from the sun. So a phenomenal time to bring this into our diet. The last one that we're going to put inside the mix there is going to be our M Detox, and that's our activated coconut charcoal. And this is something, again, that we're coming out of spring. We're wanting to do spring cleaning. We suggest you add, this into your morning regime. Or if you're still kind of, moving and eating things you shouldn't be, obviously this is a great product to bring in at that time as well. But the cool thing about the charcoal is that it'll bind to toxins in the body. So if we're taking MSM, we're taking the Rejuvenate, we're purchasing the bundle, we're using it, then the detox can actually come in and help accelerate that in a way to where we're not retoxifying the body where we feel like crap. Because a lot of people want to sell you a cleanse and a detox right now, but it's really not the time. We're just trying to balance things right now. We're not really trying to purge and pull things out of the body. We're trying to create homeostasis and balance. So by adding a few of these tools into our body, we're able to actually slowly, gently detox, and that just helps our body be able to get ready if we wanted to do a deeper cleanse later on, maybe in April. And so just wanted to shoot this video for you guys so you guys can understand kind of the importance of the equinox. I really encourage people to really go within, reflect on this time of the year, reflect on the 20th and the 21st. If you work with other healers, if you do certain ceremonies, this is a great time to do that, to go within, really reflect on if you've been having any chaos, any negative energy in your life, and learn that on that day, it's the day of transcending that. It's the day that allows us to go within and maximize our intention. Because a lot of times we can set intentions, we can try to do things, but they don't stick. And I think a big part of it is that we're not really lining ourselves up with the best times of the year to do that. Well, this is the best time of the year to do that, especially with our partners. If we're noticing any type of chaotic energy with our partners, this is a perfect time for us to create balance within that. If we're into religion and we're into spirituality, obviously this is another time, again, to go in, to reflect, to transcend, so that we can restore balance. So that's about it, guys. I just wanted to kind of go over the equinox, let you guys know we are going to be offering a spring bundle that can actually, harness that energy even more, help accelerate the cleansing, the detoxification, so that you can get outside, you can start thriving, you can start feeling the best that you have ever felt in your life, because it's your birthright, and that's the way life should be. All right, guys, I hope you're going to have a great rest of your day. I hope this video helped you. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below. Please call the center. Please ask us. We can go more in depth. Obviously, I don't have so much time to go into these on these videos. But yeah, just leave comments below. Look out for that spring bundle. You guys are going to love it. Talk to you soon. Thank you much. Bye-bye.